In anime, death is often cheap. A quick, heroic sacrifice. A noble end even. But there are some fates that are far worse than others than simply just dying off. Fates that transcend the physical, destroying the mind, the body, the soul, and the very concept of their existence. These are often punishments reserved for truly unfortunate victims of the horror of being a protagonist. It's scary. You don't know what's going to happen. You can die one way, or you can die 1,000 times and just come back and be like, what was that? What was that? But yeah, in this video, we're going to be going over some of the worst fates in anime history. Well, I'm your host, Anime 101. Let's get into it. And before we do, like, share, and subscribe, and do all that good YouTube stuff. Alright, now let's get into it. Kicking off our list is the crushing existential fate awaiting every single protagonist in, Madoka Magica, where a girl, contracts something. She's promised a wish and magical power, but the true cost is far more horrifying than battle. Magic girls are not just risking their lives, they're sacrificing their souls. Their souls are literally ripped from their bodies and placed in small gems, basically. This discontent makes them fundamentally zombies, basically, walking corpses that only move because they're souls. The engine of their being is near, but it gets worse. As they fight, their soul gems collect curses, slowly darkening until it shatters. At which point, the magic girls don't just die. Instead, they're reborn as a witch, a grotesque, terrifying embodiment of despair that terrorizes humanity. Their life's purpose is not heroism, but to fuel a cosmic energy, destroying their souls. It's a fate to complete annihilation, where your purpose is reserved and preserved into pure misery. Alright everyone, our next fate is, you all know him. Subaru from ReZero, and his ability turned by death. The suffering where it's not just a single event, it's his whole life. He can never fully die. He'll just come back to just die again later. His peaceful existence is always going to be threatened. It's always going to be destroyed. And it's always going to have to be repeated again. It could spawn him back yesterday, or it could spawn him back 6 months ago, and all of that hard work he just did to help people, protect people, and make sure that they're okay. And his relationships too, they're gone. They're done. All that's been thrown out the window. He needs to reset and get back to it. He's shit out of luck, basically. Now, he is the only one who remembers everything too. Every despair-fueled rant, and every time he's had to save someone or fail to save someone, yeah, it's recorded up here. He's shit out of luck. This fate isolates him completely. He cannot tell anyone about his power, or he risks instant death and the further twisting and destruction of his mind. And save point, too. He is a prophet of inevitable doom, condemned to watch his dearest friends die over and over, his relationships destroyed and rebuilt over and over again, and everything he loves torn from him over and over and over again. If you're unfortunate enough to be branded during the eclipse in Berserk, you are destined to have a fate of absolute cosmic violation. This fate begins with the sacrifice of everything you love to become a demon or an apostle. If you resist, or if you're simply collateral damage, like the members of the Band of the Hawk, you are thrown into a hellscape where the very fabric of reality is torn to shreds. You are systematically tortured, violated, and consumed by beings of pure wickedness, malice, and evil, the God Hand and their apostle. The worst part is the loss of agency. The world of Berserk is governed by the idea of evil, a sentient concept of human suffering and torture. To die in the eclipse is to have your entire being, your memories, and your soul devoured and integrated into cosmic machinery of despair. Your suffering is not accidental, it is by design. It's the literal consumption of your soul in the universe where the concept of mercy does not exist. Next up is, well, anything to do with the Evangelion. If you're a pilot of the Evas, you're screwed. You're shit out of luck. If you're surviving in the third impact, you're not surviving. You're dead. You're screwed. You're effed. The second impact, you're dead. Anything walking outside, you're dead. The goal of anything in Evangelion is to defeat the angels and live another day. Yeah, that's not happening. No. You are not living another day in Evangelion. I'm sorry. You're effed. You're shit out of luck. You're done. It is most of the time a complete annihilation of your identity. Your consciousness, your memories, your fears, and your deepest sense of self are basically destroyed and merged into a simple collective part of unconscious. You cease to be a person most of the times. You become, well, bounded. An eternal, basically effed up situation that impacts piloting the Evas. Just trying to survive in the world of Evangelion is, well, hell. Even if you're not a pilot, even if you're just this average citizen like you and me, yeah, you're screwed. You're done. There's nothing you can possibly do to help out in your situation. The future is grim, it's dark, it's bleak, and if I'm being honest, there's really no hope for any of us in the future. The third impact will cleanse us and kill us all, and yeah, there's no will of survival. You're just living to see another day, and that's it. That's it. You're screwed, and you're done. Hell, even the people trying to manage the government, I'm going to say in quotation points, are just sad and depressed. They don't really have anything to fight for. You're done. It's just a mindless hive mind of just trying to get to tomorrow. And that's Evangelion. Now, taking the top spot of some of the worst fates in anime, because it's more of a betrayal of the spiritual contract of death. It's Light Yagami from Death Note. Light was ultimately killed by Ryu. We all know this. But his punishment was far worse, far more difficult than just a simple death. According to the Death Note's rules, any human who uses the notebook is barred from both heaven and hell. Their fate is to wander the empty, desolate, eternal wasteland of the Shinigami realm. That's my opinion. This is a fate of eternal consciousness existing without a purpose or end. Light is condemned to spend eternity as a ghost in the vast, boring emptiness of the Shinigami realm. Unable to interact with the living, unable to die, and unable to move on. He is eternally shackled to the consequences of his ambition, forever condemning his failures. It is a fate of true cosmic horror, a soul trapped in a meaningless, empty void. Perfectly aware of the eternal punishment, it's a fate that is designed to be the ultimate ironic justice. Now, I know you may be saying, but what about that character from JoJo's Part 5? I may do a video on him soon, don't worry. But from losing your soul to becoming a conscious puddle, these fates prove that, in anime, the ultimate tragedy is not always a simple death, but the terrifying consequences that follow it. Be grateful for the world where death is just the end. At least, it's final. But what horrifying fates did, well, I miss? Where would you absolutely never want to go? And why would you want your soul not to go to these places? Let me know in the comment section down below. I'm your host, Anime 101, signing out. Wait, do all that good YouTube stuff. I'm your host, Anime 101, signing out. I shall see you guys in the next video. Peace out and have a great day.